Hi, welcome! This is Growing Bonsai, and today we're enjoying the end of summer. Bonsai growing season is over, right? Time to sit on the sofa, curl up with a book and enjoy a nice cup of tea? No, this is the time that you start thinking about what am I going to grow next year? What seeds do I need? Where do I get my seeds? How am I going to germinate them? These three questions in this video. First question, where do you get seeds? Spoiler alert, there is no such thing as bonsai seed, so it does not really matter where you get your tree seeds from. You can just go in the forest. In fact, let's go there. Right, so we're in the middle of the forest. Now what do we have here? Here we have an oak, but this oak does not have any oaks on it. I think one of the main messages that I have: when you go and grow bonsai, don't go to a store where they sell bonsai seeds. Because bonsai seeds, they don't really exist. The seeds that we use for bonsai, if you grow from seed, are just regular tree seeds. So therefore it's important to recognize, what do the tree seeds look like? When do I collect them? Where do I find them? Pine cones. Pines actually, in the cones, have lots of seeds, but the cones, when they fall, are normally already empty. The ones that have the seeds are up there. So if you're looking for pine seeds, it is wise to go to a place where either there's a nice dry soil and you can just look around and find the seeds on the ground. They have a tiny little seed with a tiny little wing on it. You can also look for a place where the pines are a little bit shorter than this, because I'm not going to climb up. Third option, collect lots of these cones and start breaking them open. Sometimes in the lobes you still find seeds. Of course, whenever you want to show that on screen, there's nothing in there. Rowan grows readily from seed and the fruits are everywhere. Just look along the roads, everywhere that you see nice big bundles of red berries. Grab a few, take them home, take the seeds out of them, plant those. Now let's look at oak. Oak seeds are everywhere. You go find yourself a big oak with lots of acorns hanging from it, and you just go there, and as soon as the acorns are starting to fall on the floor, that's the time to harvest them. Note, you should not let them dry out. Acorns that dry out are no longer viable. I say that as a rule, bit more rule of thumb. Best you collect the acorns when they fall on the ground, and then straight away you put them in a seed bed. In fact, acorns are one of the few seeds that germinate already in fall. When you're out in the forest, it's always good to look at the forest floor, because what we have here, these are little rowan plants. So if I wanted to go rowan for bonsai, I might as well just take a little spade and take one of those seedlings instead of collecting the seeds. That saves me at least 2 years. On the edge of the forest, where there's lots of sun, we'll find wild cherries. And in fact, wild cherries with tiny little fruits. Although these are cherries, it doesn't mean you can just eat them. A warning, don't just eat plants if you don't know exactly what they are. They don't even taste good. Now this is an edible one. Elderberries. They're really nice. Don't really like them for bonsai, but for maybe for pancakes or a juice or a wine. This is a really old one. Look at that trunk. I think I should just dig this and make a bonsai out of the trunk. Birch is a great species for bonsai, except for, of course, their tendency to just kill off branches without a reason. But this is not the right time to get seeds of birch. Birch and elms set their seeds in early spring. They flower over winter, and as soon as spring is nice and warm, they drop their seeds. That's the moment to collect them. If you haven't seen it yet, I have a video on how to collect elm seeds, how to plant them and how to grow them. Maybe in spring I should do one for birch as well. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. These fruits, just like other fruits, the seeds are actually inside the fruit, so you have to open up the fruit, push it apart, and the seeds will come out. These you rinse, you dry them and you plant them. Beech. They are incredibly easy to grow from seed, and many people think they're difficult, but they are not. In fact, as long as you find the right seed, they'll germinate quite easily. And what you're looking for is These things, these are not the seeds, these are the seed husks, and in it invariably you'll find 2 seeds, or if they're already on the ground, they might just be empty. Even then, you find these nice little triangular seeds, and many of these are flat. And if there's flat, there's no life, and they'll just die when you plant them. Find the right seed, not the seed husks, and test whether they are flat. Hey, this one's not. And this one? That one's flat. Although I don't really like walnuts for bonsai, this is how the seed grows. They grow with a green outer shell, and once they're ripe you get black cracks in it, and the walnut, as you know it, falls out. At that point it is ready to germinate. You just plant it in the ground and wait for spring to come. Yes, even apples can be grown from seed. It is quite windy, it's not that warm anymore. The ground is littered with leaves, but no maple seeds. I don't know. Maybe it was so dry this year that the maples here did not set seeds. So can't show you the common maple and how to get seeds. But they're right here, the trees though. People who like linden trees should look out for this. Yellowing leaves in a tree with seeds hanging from it. It's quite a unique way that linden seeds grow. So what you have here, this is the complete seed of a linden tree. It is literally a small leaf with stalks hanging from it and a number of seeds. In fact, these are not the seeds itself. Inside of each of these balls is a number of seeds again. So if you open them up, there's little seeds. How cool is that? It's taken a bit of effort, but I've got a maple with seeds. And everybody knows these maple seeds. You know, the little propellers. These seeds, they are still quite young. You see that the seed itself is green. They grow on the tree like this. And when they're ripe, they split in the middle and they fall individually and they become these little propellers. This is the earliest stage that I would harvest them. I would actually wait a little bit longer until also the seed starts to go brown. And wait until that point before you start harvesting, until they start falling from the tree itself. And that is actually the best moment. When the seeds start falling from the tree themselves, then you collect, they're perfectly ripe, you can plant them directly. So, you've gone out, you've collected your seeds, you've decided which seed you want to grow. Now then what? Well, first of all, what you want to do, what you need to do, first of course, as said, this is beech. And you want to get the seeds out of the husk. This you can just toss away. Well, with these beech seeds, this one is flat. This one also. So that was not a success. But you need to go through and select only the seeds that are nice, thick and healthy. These cherries we need to clean. We need to get the fruits off and make sure the seeds are completely green. And you only are left with the inner seed that's in there. You see? So you go through all your seeds like that. These little pears that I collected, they're quite rotten. So the chances are pretty good that these seeds that are in here, I don't really want to do that. No, this is all rotten. But what you normally would do, you just toss away everything that is already rotten, because it will just infect the rest of your seeds. That can go. Once you've done that, of course, here we have this maple. I'm going to split them in two. And I personally, I take the wing off. The wing is not needed. The wing is really for the transport of the seed in the air. So that when the seed comes off the plant, a wind gust catches it and it locates the seed somewhere else. Because seeds underneath a big tree is not a good idea. It's a much better idea to have this seed land somewhere 10 meters away from the tree. So that's why they have these wings. For germination they're not needed. So you can just bring them back to this. And after that, well, there's a lot of advice on the internet that bring out sphagnum molds or kitchen paper, and you put the seeds in between damp kitchen paper or in sphagnum molds. You put it in a little baggie and then you put it in a fridge. Now what you need to remember is, in nature there are no fridges, except for the biggest fridge of all, nature itself. In winter these seeds will go and get a cold treatment. And what happens during that cold period, slowly but surely in the seed, the dormancy is built down. Dormancy is just a chemical inhibitor that stops the tree seeds from germinating. Exceptions, as said before, are the oak. They germinate straight away. What this inhibitor does is make sure that the seed does not germinate until winter is far at the end of the last stages. So you don't get young seedlings in the early fall germinating, growing, and then they hit with winter. They don't have any reserve, so they can't survive winter and they die. So you're just going to plant these. If you just plant them in an open substrate, make sure that they stay damp but not soaking wet. Think about a forest floor. It is full of leaves and the seeds fall in between the leaves. There's a lot of air circulations. The leaf makes sure that they stay moist. They're never completely soaking wet, well, except for maybe an hour or two after a rainstorm, but the rest of the time they're just moist. So now if everything has gone well, then in springtime you have seedlings coming out. And one of the things to know is that for many seeds, the first pair of leaves that come out are not the actual leaf of the plant. So don't be concerned if you see 2 leaves popping up and you don't recognize it. You say, well, that's a strange plant. It might very well be the plant that you planted. The second set of leaves that come out, that should start looking like the plant that you think you put in the ground. What I like to do when I've planted these, I like to go and clip the roots quite early. I do that already in the first year. And at the same time, I also in the first year like to put a little bend in the trunk. I think that is pretty much all for now for starting seeds. Starting bonsai from seeds, where to get them, how to germinate them, and the first steps. There is another video on how to germinate elm seeds, and I'll put a link down below. Have a look there. And in that video I'm not working on the plants yet. There's another video in the making. I'm not sure whether that is posted yet, but that will come. And I'll show you how I got from a seedbed to individual containers. This is it for now. Keep growing bonsai. Have fun collecting seeds. Make sure that if you go collect seeds and you do it in an area where there's hunting, that you know that there's no hunting in the place that you are stumbling between the branches, because they might just mistake you for a deer. And I don't want to be responsible for that. Until then, see you next time. Let's give the mice something to eat.